Hello everyone and welcome to Zeepkist Cup of the Day. For those of you who don't know how this works, we get 10 minutes to practice a map we have never seen before, after which there will be 2-minute elimination rounds where the slowest players get eliminated. This week, we have a map by GoBigGoHotWheels. It is Lexer Ice. Okay, important jump right at the beginning. Oh, it is real ice. Good. I'll just have to remember which of these is real ice and which of these is fake ice. Thank goodness that turn is fake ice. Oh yeah, using the terrain. This is not what I expected from a GoBigGoHotWheels map. I think he almost always does full friction maps. I don't think I've seen him do an ice map before. Okay, uphill ending. Ooh, fans make you very fast there. I got a time. So I think a few important parts of this track. First is that very first jump. I have 160 speed. I could have a little bit more. And definitely speed conservation. As always, is going to be big here. There's that fan trick. I'm not sure how useful it's going to be. Ooh, man, that is fast. Is this time warpable? Asks Kernzoman. I don't think so. The finish did not look like a time warp finish to me. We're getting varying answers. Ooh, man, that turn is tough at speed. I think I need a different setup. $161 probably is what I'm looking for at CP1. All of this track is tough at speed. I think there's going to be a lot of resetting at the first jump. To try to get good speeds for the rest of the map, because the speed does carry, at least up until this point. This turn is difficult. Okay, I made it that time. Did not get a whole lot of the fan. Of course it's ice the one time Seabad shows up. That is true. Actually, don't have a lot of the ice experts in here, the people I would usually associate with ice. Oh, that is a time warp finish, actually. Yeah, not a plain finish, you can tell because it's thick. So you want to be moving towards the side of the finish when you hit it, and your time will decrease. I don't really want to explain it too much. There's a good video on it that explains it better. Just do what I do at the finish. That turn is tough also. Ooh, that was like, I was holding 80. I wonder if 80% steering limit is the way to go there. This turn, how much fan trick can you get? It didn't help me to get that much fan trick, so... I'm up speed. I don't really understand. I just don't know my Ren super well. 45-0. It's not great. What movie are we talking about here? Snowpiercer? Oof, man. Okay, I want to practice this start. I want to practice the start, but I need to practice the end. I should be getting 161s at the start every time if I want a good shot at winning this. That's not 161. Okay, that was not what I intended to happen. It's not quite 80, but I think it helps to have the 80 steering limit. Does it help to keep 80 up here also? Maybe even 70. That is a tough corner. Wonder how risky people are going to be taking this map in 2-minute rounds. So I could see it actually being feasible to slow down for that corner. Can I hold 70 through this whole thing? Well, actually, I think... Well, that was fine. 70 is sketchy there. I am concerned about the fact that I am not getting a lot of finishes. Because I like to have some consistency. Ooh, even 70 you can skid. Oh, I got back on track. What is what's going on at the fan at the end here? There's a fan pulling, so I think you want to stay outside. This is so close to the end, though. Actually, the fan trick probably doesn't matter. I've seen a couple people complaining about the first turn. It is a tricky one. I actually think the harder turn is the chicane later, the one I keep crashing up. This one. Just have to be really properly set up for it, and the fan trick is tempting, but I think it just makes you crash. Trying to get more of that fan, so I think it just puts you so offline. Haven't really mastered that bobsled section yet, but I'm surviving it, and that's kind of all that matters. Take a turn to the left for the time warp. Only 17th. I mean, that wasn't a great run either. I haven't had a great run yet, and I am aware of that. I don't like this setup. I do not like this setup. Little wheel hook to save me there. I feel like I'm having to do one too many oscillations in that second bobsled. Or the final bobsled. I don't know how many bobsleds there are. Let's find Zoman, who looks a lot like Kern Cobb, but is not Kern Cobb. I just want to see if there's any lines he's doing. Smooth start. Very outside, fairly similar to what I'm doing. I think a little bit of a more outside entry, actually. Gets a little bit of airtime there. Nothing too out of the blue. Let's see what this second bobsled section looks like. Redstone he takes first here at the end of warm-up round. Okay, nothing too crazy. Gonna turn players off so I don't lag like crazy loading in, because I have been a little laggy today. Zoman takes first place back with that run we were watching. Redstoney, Jobber looking good. Jobber is a bit of an expert at strange bobsleds, so that makes sense. Seabad, kind of the notable ice guy in this lobby, is with some of the other ice experts not here, like Kern Cobb, Naomi Hydro, I usually think of. That was clean-ish. That was not clean. This is tough. Zodiac in game? I remember Zodiac. Zodiac had a few good finishes back in the old day. A few good Cup of the Day finishes. I'm surprised to see Zodiac in game, actually. It has been a long time. Zoman did get a little bit of airtime there. I am not sure still if that is a good thing. Okay, so there's time to reset as you're approaching that chicane. And you should know if that chicane's going to go well for you or not already by the time you're approaching it. Like, that time I knew that wasn't going to go well for me. A little bit of a DNF fest. Yeah, I'm not surprised. There's a lot that can go wrong on this track. Wonder if any of those inners are going to be worth it. Also keep forgetting what steering percentage I'm on. I'm liking 80 for some of the fast corners. What do we have? A lot. Not the most DNFs we've ever seen. That's 11, including Mapper. I do think the DNFs might continue through the rounds, though, because, you know, I am struggling. Especially in warm-ups, I was struggling to get finishes consistently. So I could see anybody just going 2 minutes without having a very good time. I did not like the sliding I was getting in the first ice section, but I want to carry this through because I want the extra attempt at this chicane down here. Got that better than last time by means of not falling off the right side of the track. Oh, really? That was a 43.6. I'm surprised. I thought that was worse than... Oh, well, I guess I didn't fall off the track. That's where I lost all the time last round. Don't talk about any absolutely disgusting inners, Pandamane. I don't want to hear it. There are no inners on this track. A finish is a finish, R-Tube. That is correct. I think a lot of people would like to be getting one. Right now, still 30 seconds left in this round. Whoa, that was weird. Alright, cool. I got a good time warp off of that. Still a bunch of people without a time, including Sandals, who needs one. Looks like he is going to get one. 10 seconds left. We got 5 DNFs. There should only be 4 eliminations in this round. And we're not seeing anybody else come to the finish. So a little bit of a DNF fest. For sure, as people are saying in chat, consistency is difficult. I am feeling that I'm getting a touch more consistent, at least at being able to finish the track. still on the track. I'm gonna take a run. Oh dear, this is not great. Okay. Trying different oscillations in the second tube because I don't like how the one I usually do is. Another 44.0. That seems to be my consistent time, but I can reach a lot higher than that. Love to be like Zomin, consistently in the 42s. That's a ways out there. The thing is, like, I know where I'm losing time, but I need to get finishes. Especially with how tricky some parts of this track are. I don't want to be trying to optimize and miss out on getting a finish at all. That was not a comfortable oscillation. I always seem to end up on the left side, which I really don't want to be. Is it too late to catch Zomin on a second one? Or Seabad? A little bit too late to catch Seabad coming out of that. Zomin is early in the track. Do have a bunch of DNFs again. Seabad does get a time. Lamp has already left, so they're not getting a time. I wasn't paying enough attention to see if Zomin did anything drastically different, although his exit did look a lot better. And we got 3 DNFs this time. One person finally getting eliminated with a time of 47.9. Top 29. Still going to be a few more rounds of 4 eliminations. I don't mind coming out of this one on the left side because it does help me set up for this really tricky chicane. Which I failed. I think I want to just get a time zone and sets another world record, getting a 42.3. Oh dear. I think almost getting a 162 at the beginning, and then my oscillation was awful. This is my only attempt through this chicane. Okay, got it and stayed on track. I think that's all I really care about right now. I liked that oscillation also. And up the hill into the finish. Pretty solid time, 9th place. Will get me out of this round. So we do have 2 people without a time. Only 1 person without a time right now. Hard TGV. One of 2 players in the Zeepkist community that had heart surgery this week. Great to see him back in game. Masked Dog and Heart TGV both within a day of each other. That was kind of a crazy moment earlier this week. Pandamain getting knocked out. I would say one of the top players. Getting knocked out with a time as well. So not on DNF, but on inconsistency of getting times. I probably should not have taken that early reset, because it gives me less opportunities to reset here. I tried to save it because I knew I wasn't going to have a second attempt at a full run past that point. Ooh, that was about as smooth as I've done that so far. A lot of airtime, but I don't think it matters too much. There we go. Much better setup. And I think last time I kind of came down a little bit. This is not the oscillation pattern I wanted. Just as long as I'm not trending up at the end of the bobsled, I think I'm okay. No! No, 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 no. I failed. GG. That ending has been scaring me this entire time. I haven't said anything about it yet, but I have seen that almost happening to me a lot of times. Well, I have fallen to the DNF train, and it looks like I might not be the only one. Seabad does get a time. 376 and Agix. Agix is coming to the end here. Hopefully he doesn't do the same thing I did. He does not. Oh, but he gets a 50.7, which is not going to get him out. Fastest time. Hell yeah, Agix. 24th place. That is, I think, the worst finish I've had since I started recording. Topping the one from a few weeks back. This was definitely not my track. It's because of the Lexer ice. I can't tell what surface I'm driving on. A couple people going wide there. It's interesting this early on that we are seeing most people taking the same line up until this bobsled section, when lines are all over the place now. Usually it's not until like the top 4 where we see people starting to look like they're all on the same line. Seems like maybe there is just one line you can take on this track. That's certainly what it felt like to me. Soman sets a fast time. Do I think the train here is cool? I haven't gotten to look at the deco, but I haven't got a lot to do right now. It goes way off into the distance, that's for sure. Pretty neat looking map. Let's see how Zoman does this. Actually kind of comes in central there. Slightly different oscillation to what Sandals does. Jawboy is flying, but I think flying a little bit too much. Fell off the edge of the bobsled. Let's see what Zoman gets here. A 0.5. Only 2 people in the 42s right now. I know we have seen Round in the 42s, and Round was coming towards the end early on. I think must have missed the finish in a similar way that I did, because I did see him in that group of first run finishers. This time we'll get a finish, though. We still got 3 people without a time. My camera angle seems really awkwardly rotated right here. Still people DNFing. I'm not surprised that that is going to continue. Obviously, I was one of them in the last round. I do think this is a really tricky track to finish in a 2-minute time period, regardless of how comfortable you feel with it. Jawboy and the supercomputer loading in way before everybody else. See a bit of a spread of lines there. A couple people going really high early on in that bobsled. Couple people taking a different oscillation pattern there. I think it was R-Tube, who's ended up a little bit wide. Round might have been on that pattern. It's hard to tell with so many players left. Now into the second bobsled. I think this is mostly just people trying to get a good exit. Much like myself there, I didn't feel super comfortable, but as long as you could keep it on the track, that is fine, and most people could keep it on the track up to the finish, but not all of them. This is turning out to be a trickier finish than perhaps we had thought. Round proving my point there. He can put a 42. That is a 42.35, almost world record. Zoman has a 0.32. Definitely, it seems like there are not many people in contention for the win here, unless DNFs happen. Seems to be Zoman and Round and possibly Seabad that can do the 42s, and there are big gaps. I mean, even right now, Seabad's time at 43.0. Not very comfortable. Sandals coming to the end. Hopefully he doesn't mess it up like I did. He does not. That was his only attempt at a finish. We got most people getting a time right now. Palfly needs an improvement, is currently bottom of the table. Does get an improvement, will get out of this round. Looking for Ridal to get a time, as well as a few people to come in and improve their times. Here comes Ridal. Right at the end will be the last person to finish. Does it get him out? It does not. He only gets to 15th. The first round where everybody finished, though. Starting to get to the point where you're needing 43s to get out, which I guess we are into the top 13 now. That is probably roughly where I was comfortable with, as long as I could finish, which, you know, I couldn't. But I was getting the 44-0 consistently, definitely the potential to get much faster times than that. I think that is actually about where I would have expected to be with those times. 2 eliminations in this round. We got the strange odd numbers in 2 eliminations here. We are seeing some different thoughts on this bobsled. Kind of seems like no matter how you enter, you exit this bobsled a similar way. Some people taking some risky lines right at the end. I did see one person fall off the track. I don't know who that was. Sandals coming to the finish next. Turns out this finish is quite difficult. Is perhaps worth keeping an eye on. Zoman coming in as well. We'll have time for a second run. Got a bunch of people coming to this tricky second bobsled section. Seabad, somewhat the ice expert of the lobby. Let's see what he does. It's all about setting up for a good exit of the bobsled. Seabad has often told people in the past as a bobsled teaching, think about it going backwards out. Like, you want to think about where you want to end up and then figure out how to get there from the beginning of it. Kind of like doing a maze. Sometimes you want to solve it backwards. Palfly and Shady Nook need times. Zoman coming in for his second finish. We have Wheelie coming in, looks like. Palfly and Shady Nook, the 2 DNFs this round, will be the 2 eliminated. Round, again, setting a very good time. I think Round and Zoman are probably the favorites here. Seabad, only 9th place in this round, but can put in the 42s. See Sandals in this round putting in a 42, and Redstony. Redstony's done a 0.6, actually. Jawboy's also done a 0.6. Let's see who loads in last. It is Beans. We're going to try to keep an eye on him while I look at GTR stuff. Yeah, so all those guys I listed. There's a bit of a gap on GTR from the 42s into the 43s. Seeing only 4 of the 11 on their first runs. And they're all doing something different in this bobsled section. I don't know if I like that second bobsled section, as it does kind of seem like everybody exits it a little uncomfortably. Up into the finish, all 4 of them get the time, a 42.9 from Sandals, currently leading. We got Round coming in, who has been pretty fast. We've got Redstony, who has also looked pretty fast. Let's take a peek back at some of these other sections of the map. R-Tube not liking the entrance to the second bobsled, only has 1 chance to get a good run. Wheelie and Seabad also need time. Seabad called his DNF early. Let's see if that ends up coming true. This chicane is one of the hard parts of the track. Round should be safe. Zoman should be safe. Redstony in 4th place should be safe with that time as well. Magical was slowest in the last round, is slowest of the finishers so far in this round too. Would like to get a better time. R-Tube making it through this section. I have not seen Seabad or Wheelie. Wheelie is off the track. Seabad might be the last person to get a finish. It's going to be very close. Magical and R-Tube both in uncomfortable spots. Magical improves, but not by a whole lot. R-Tube passes him. Seabad will be the last into the finish. Does knock out Magical with that 44.0. So 43s needed to get into the top 10 here. Zoman with a .31, another world record by a hundredth of a second. Let's hop on Round at the back here. Round has been very fast. Already passing Beans with a clean landing. Oh, not that clean apparently. A lot of people resetting actually. This is like half the pack, more than half the pack. Resetting and going for this first jump again. R-Tube following a train of cars. Not the actual train on the map, but a train of other Zeepkists. Different line through that first bobsled section. Sandals falls off on the left side. Can everybody get through this chicane safely? Looks like it, just barely. That is Zoman and Round in front. Here, Zoman having a very uncomfortable bobsled section. Bean's the only person to finish their first run. Not a whole lot of people coming in on their second attempts either. Round with not the greatest of times. With the 43.1. For his standards, not the greatest of times. That is probably still safe. R-Tube, wondering how he put in a 42.9. Maybe I gave him some reverse caster curse by watching him. Beans also with the 42.7. I don't think we've seen him in the 42s yet either. So everybody left actually seems like they have the potential to put in really good times. It has really only been Zoman and Round we've been seeing do that consistently. Zoman, Sandals, and Seabad without a time right now, though. This is Zoman coming towards the end. And we've got Seabad coming in towards the end. Sandals hopefully looking for a snipe. Yep, here comes Sandals. Seabad not getting a very comfortable time. Could get knocked out by Sandals right here. MacCheesy also is out. Sandals does not make it out, though. Only 8th place for Sandals. The 43.6. And I think everybody in the 43s is not happy with the time they put down in this round. I think everybody left is going to be looking for 42s every round. I think Beans R-Tube was the first time in the 42s for them. At this point, it might be necessary. There is obviously a lot of inconsistency here and still the ever-present threat of DNFing. But at this point, the last round with 2 eliminations, I think people are going to be wanting to see 42s. A couple people resetting early again. Zoman doing a different oscillation, I think similar to the one R-Tube was doing when we were watching him last time. Everybody making it through the chicane, or at least the 3 runners still remaining. Pretty similar oscillations. Seabad, I think, is slightly off the other 2 in that oscillation, but they all come out at the same spot. Jawboy looks a little bit slower than Zoman on this run. Zoman, of course, very fast on this map. Seabad, the slowest so far. The 43.4, probably not safe. 2 eliminations this round. Also, nobody on the track. Here comes a bunch into this tricky chicane section. R-Tube looks like is going to make it through the chicane. Beans running a little bit wide. Clips, but continues on with his run. Perhaps just prioritizing getting a finish. No more time to reset at this point. R-Tube coming into the finish right now. And does get a time, but it is only a 43.5. Beans follows him in, though, and it is not enough for Beans. Redstone can knock out R-Tube right now as well. Seabad will be safe with that 43.4. We have seen everybody remaining in the 42s. Times obviously have been inconsistent. Seabad looking to improve as well. And Redstone will knock out R-Tube. So 43.5 getting eliminated in this round. 42.24 from Zoman, another world record. He keeps improving. Round looking fast as well. Not quite the personal best from him. Everybody else dancing around all over the place from a 42.6 to the mid-43s. It does look like Zoman and Round are probably the favorites. 2 of the top 5 on the spreadsheet. Unsurprising to see them looking good. Redstone has had a couple good performances lately as well. Does not have a cup win. Jabba also does not have a cup win. I would say of the 5 remaining, Jobber and Seabad, the 2 that are still on track right now are sort of the ice experts. But of course, Zoman and Round pretty good at everything. They are always difficult to beat. Seabad does have 1 cup win on a bobsled track. Jobber with the 42.6, a very solid time from Jobber. Looks like everybody's pretty close to the beginning. Redstone is coming in for a finish. Up the wall, 43.1, 2 thousandths behind Seabad, and that could be the difference. Zoman and Round, the 2 fastest, do not have a time yet. They keep resetting. Round coming into the second bobsled section. Can take another reset, but I imagine he wants to get a finish here. So only 1 run for the 2 favorites I had just mentioned at the beginning of this round. Round looking very fast. Gets a 42.6. Zoman also coming into the finish now. Redstone and Seabad probably wanting to improve. And Zoman with a .23. Very fast time. Redstone and Seabad are both on runs. Tight on time, but both should make it to the finish again. Ooh, Redstone very far on the left side coming out of the bobsled. Seabad not a whole lot cleaner, though. Redstone up the hill needs an improvement. Does snipe out Seabad, but Seabad with the counter snipe. He does. Goes second fastest with a personal best, I believe. Redstone knocked out with a 42.8, needing a .6 to make it through. Crazy round in the round of 5 here. Jobber with a personal best to make it out. I was pretty confident that time was safe when Jobber said it. It was very close to being eliminated. 4 players remaining. Job the only non-cup of the day winner here. Round the first to take a reset. Jobber with a interesting oscillation pattern there. Zoman as well. All 3 of these guys kind of with different oscillations. I do not like Jobber's line. I don't think he should still be on this run. Seabad does clip a wheel off the side of the track and resets. We're seeing Zoman flying ahead of Jobber here. Jobber perhaps hoping to just get a finish. Still a 43.3, which is a good time. Explains a little bit why Zoman was flying ahead of him, because that is a world record by a couple tenths, I think. 42.0, actually pushing 41s. That is insane. Round still has time for a second round, a 42.5. If it wasn't for last round, I would say that time probably feels pretty safe, but I think Zoman's the only one probably feeling good right now. Everybody's got time for 1 more run. Seabad with a bit of a jump. Needs to get a finish. Jobber, I believe, right behind him on track. Oh no, Jobber is up ahead coming into the finish now. See if he can improve on his time. Did set a 42.6 last round, a 42.7 this time. Let's see if Seabad can beat that on his 1 attempt. Seabad, it looks like he's not going to DNF as he predicted. But does he get a fast enough time? He does not. Eliminated with a 43.1. Kern Cobb, Round, and Job into the top 3. Sorry, Zoman. I got so confused by the fact that he looks like Kern Cobb. And the fact that he's good on an ice track that I thought that was Kern Cobb for a second. Zoman, Round, and Jobber into the top 3. I believe 3rd place is the Cup of the Day personal best for Jobber. And of course, Zoman and Round with 16 wins and 10 wins, respectively. Zoman and Round load in very close to each other. Round with a little bit of a higher jump. Actually seems to have a touch more speed. Not liking the bobsled entrance, though. Zoman and Round have been very picky with their runs. Jobber a little bit less so, as we saw last time. And once again, Zoman almost looks like he's slipstreaming Jobber with how much speed he's gaining. Already passing him, and Jobber, of course, loads in way ahead of everybody. Zoman passing him through the second bobsled section. And flying up the hill to the finish. A 41! He has broken the sub-42s. Jobber with a respectable time was being left in the dust by Zoman. 41.8! Another 2 tenths coming off of that world record, about 1.5 tenths. crazy time. It is going to be tough for anybody to beat Zoman here. Round has looked good for a lot of this cup. He does just barely have time for 2 runs in the semifinals here. Is going to need an improvement with the 43.0. Jabba and Zoman both coming into the second bobsled. Again, Jabba sliding all over the place. I'm just going to assume that he's not going to improve, so let's see what Round is up to. 1 attempt to snipe. Seems a clean enough run so far. Has a good setup for the chicane. Gets that cleanly. I'm not entirely sure what the speeds are supposed to be at this point. Can Round get into the finals and knock Jabba out? Not the greatest exit of that bobsled section. It still might be a fast run. Up the hill looking for the snipe. And gets it, a 42.59 to knock out Jabba. Another 3rd place finish for him. But it is Zoman and Round into the finals. Can Round do anything about Zoman's pace? And does Zoman have the consistency for that matter? Zoman loading in a little bit ahead of Round this time. Zoman has looked pretty consistent, that's for sure. The Current Cobb cosplay paying off, doing what Current so often does. Getting to the second half of Cup of the Day and just putting in world record after world record, starting to look absolutely unbeatable. Both players going for a lot of resets. I think it might just be down to taking 1 good run in the finals here. They both know what they need. No point setting down a time they don't think is going to win it. Zoman 157 speed across that ice patch. A little bit of a shaky entrance to the chicane, but does get out of it cleanly. 174. Coming down the next straight into the second bobsled. Round still going for resets at the beginning. Coming out of this bobsled with 159. We'll see what Round has up here. 157 coming into the chicane. Zoman up into the finish. 42.6. So does take a one... We'll call it a not incredible time. Although it is a very strong time that probably could beat Round. Zoman, though, he's got a time on the board now. Round does not, and Round has only given himself 1 chance to do it now, right at the beginning. Zoman, having set a 41.8 in the last round, might be looking to make a big improvement. 160 coming into the chicane is a lot faster than last time. 177 coming out of it. Can Round match that at all? No. He's down almost 7 speed going into the chicane. Does get a 174 out of it, but Zoman is on a very fast run right now. Around the final corner and up the hill into the finish. 41.809. Another world record from Zoman. World records in the last 3 rounds, I think. Round will put in a time only of 43.2. Zoman, dominant in this cup, takes the win. Thank you guys for watching this video. If you want to join Cup yourself, join the CTR Discord, which will be linked in the description below. And if you want to see all stats and results for Zeepkist Cup of the Day, I will post my spreadsheet in the description as always. Thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you next time. Bye-bye!